Hi, this is Supervisor George Homan. You're about to see a presentation from Tom Morley, the Director of the Small Business Development Center for New York State, located at Rockland Community College. We're grateful for Tom taking the time to do this presentation for our business owners and our residents. We want to also thank Rockland Community College, Dr. Baston, for loaning Tom to us to do this presentation. As always, if you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to contact Mr. Morley. His contact information is on the presentation, as well as calling the Clarkstown Supervisor's Office at area code 845-639-2050. That's 845-639-2050. Thank you for watching this presentation, and good luck.
Thank you, Supervisor. Good morning, folks. We are facing some unprecedented challenges with this COVID-19 outbreak and many of the steps that various governments are taking to help us flatten the curve. I'd like to thank, just quickly, Dr. Michael Baston, the President of Rockland Community College, for enabling us to continue providing service through the disaster. Dr. Penny Jennings, who's in charge of the external programs at the college, and Dr. Beth Coyle. So this morning we're going to take a look at the Economic Injury Disaster Loan process, which is a U.S. Small Business Administration loan to assist small businesses in surviving the current outbreak. So a New York small business can apply for an SBA Economic Injury Disaster Loan for up to $2 million. The interest rate is 3.75% for for-profit businesses, and it's 2.75% for nonprofits. And there's eligibility requirements on both sides. The terms are up to 30 years, which will keep the repayments very low for businesses. SBA will work with the data that you provide as part of the application to help determine what the best repayment term would be. You can make a request, but SBA can revise that request. So applicants must be a business that was directly affected by the pandemic. And as such, you have to offer services that are directly related to the direct declaration or indirectly related. So the example we use on the slide is a restaurant is closed, unfortunately. The food service supplier who ordinarily would be supplying to that restaurant, their business has slowed, and the cleaning service that the restaurant may use is not working. Each of the loans under the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program with SBA are for working capital. That means that it's cash for operations. It's cash to get you through the epidemic. A few links that will be important for you as we go on. The phone number, by the way, for the for the SBDC at Rockland Community College is 845-356-6065. Once again, the SBDC at the college is 845-356-6065. To request specific assistance from the SBDC, you can go to www.nysbdc.org/selector/reqforcon/formo.aspx. It's the first link on the slide there. That's a brief form that you fill out, and that's to request assistance from the SBDC. For general SBA information, you can go to sba.gov. For specific disaster information at SBA, you can go to disasterloan.sba.gov/ELA. We have the affiliate link up there, which has the rules and definitions under SBA for affiliates. If you own more than one business, under certain rules, they may or may not be affiliates. So if you have more than one business, you should pay attention to that section as well. So, the basic loan criteria for all small businesses: you must have a credit history for your business. SBA will determine your eligibility based on your repayment probability. These are loans. SBA wants to make sure that you can pay them back. To qualify, the small business must be physically located in New York State, and you must have suffered working capital losses due to the COVID-19 outbreak. So working capital losses means that not only have your sales decreased, but your business isn't operating correctly because of the pandemic. The loans are not to replace sales. The loans are to enable you to survive until you can restore your sales. SBA will work with you through the process to determine how much you can borrow, and that'll be based on the size of your business, your annual sales history, the type of business, other financial resources that may be available to you, and steps that you're taking as part of the process to mitigate the issue. What can the loans be used for? Again, these are working capital loans, so you can pay fixed debts, mortgages, vehicle payments, equipment note payments, lease payments, payroll, accounts payable, which is what you owe your vendors and suppliers, your utility payments, other business maintenance payments, like we mentioned, pest control, snow removal, etc. I guess today snow removal might be an issue for some folks. But as we noted, loan funds are not used to replace lost sales or profits or to fund expansion, such as opening a new location, improvements to property, acquisition of new equipment. If you're in the middle of an acquisition of a new piece of equipment that is essential to your business, there is an opportunity for you to explain that in the course of your application. If you're unsure if your business qualifies, contact an SBDC advisor. We can help you determine if your business and your plan for the loan is in line with the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Fund. All right, so if you're thinking you want to apply for a loan, what are the specifics? Some of the specifics. Loans over $25,000 require collateral. That collateral can be real estate, your business, your home. It can be business assets, business inventory, business equipment, furniture and fixtures. The SBA is not going to decline a loan for a lack of collateral, but will require borrowers to use their assets as that collateral. So if your business does not have much in the collateral department, you might have to post some personal collateral as well. Likewise, having collateral does not mean you're guaranteed a loan. Your credit history will factor into the equation, but the collateral is an important part of the equation in qualifying for the loans. As we noted, the applicant's business must be located in New York State, meaning a physical presence, that you've got to have a building, a warehouse. If it's a home-based business, you can have a post office box address, but you must also have a physical address that you will need for the application. If you run an agribusiness, a farm or similar thing, you're not eligible under SBA, but there is a U.S. Department of Agriculture program for ag businesses. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. If it's an ag business, you go to the Department of Agriculture, not SBA. So if you're interested in a loan, your next question is, does my business qualify? So you have to be a small business. Now, the rule of thumb that a lot of folks refer to is you've got to have 500 employees or fewer. There is a section on the SBA website that defines a small business. In some cases, you can have a lot of employees, depending on what industry you're in. So you need to check that out. 98% of all small businesses in Clarkstown are certainly small businesses, so probably not much of an issue for most folks here. If you have any specific questions on whether or not you qualify, or maybe parent companies, things of that nature, call your SBDC advisor. And we'll walk you through the determination and help you figure that out. In terms of types of eligible businesses, manufacturers, restaurants, retailers, wholesalers, hotels, marinas, recreational facilities, rental property. Ordinarily rental property, so if you've looked at SBA earlier for your business and said, oh, I'm a rental property, I'm not eligible for SBA programs, under disaster loans, yes, you are eligible. So if you've got a commercial or residential rental facility, that is eligible. And once again, ag businesses are not eligible for disaster loans, but there are other programs for agricultural businesses. So if you need to contact SBDC locally for any business in Clarkstown, 845-356-6065. We're right over at Rockland Community College, and we'll help you out. So exactly what kind of loan is this? These are economic injury loans that come directly from Treasury. You do not go through your bank to apply for these loans. Many of you may have taken SBA loans in the past, whether it's 7A or 504 for real estate or some such, in which case you go through your bank and SBA guarantees the loan. These loans are given directly to you by the government, so the government is your bank in this case. There's no cost to apply for this. There are no fees. If you're approved, and the SBA says, okay, here's what we would approve you for, X dollars, X term, you don't have to take the loan. If, let's say, the disaster is turned around by the time the approval comes in, you don't have to take it. There also, luckily, there is no prepayment penalty. So let's assume you get your application in, you get your funding, you get through the disaster, and business starts coming back, and things are good. You can pay the loan off and be done with it. There's no penalty for doing that. You are eligible to apply for these loans even if you have an existing SBA disaster loan, 7A loan, or a 504. However, loans with SBA cannot be consolidated. They will always remain distinct loans with distinct terms, conditions, payments, and terms. So keep that in mind. This doesn't consolidate your SBA debt. This is a separate instrument and a separate loan. So you're going to need a bunch of things to finish your application. I would say one of the biggest things you're going to need is patience and a bit of digital awareness. You can apply on paper. It's much quicker to apply online. As you may imagine, thousands and thousands of businesses have been adversely affected by the COVID-19 disaster. Many, many people are doing applications for loans. The system, is still functioning, but be patient. Lots of people are doing the exact same thing you're doing. So to file the loan, you're going to have to go to the SBA disaster site and complete the SBA loan application, which is Form 5 or 5C, depending on what kind of business you are. You're going to have to sign and submit a tax transcript information authorization form, more commonly referred to as an IRS Form 4506T. What that lets the SBA do is check with the IRS that the tax forms you're submitting are actually what you did file with the IRS. I'm sure nobody would ever confuse what they file, but keep in mind that they will be verifying what you're sending in. You will need a complete copy of the most recent federal income tax return for the business and for the business owners. Anyone who owns more than 20% of the business will have to provide a personal tax return for information purposes for the SBA. And that's the complete federal return. If you have not completed your return that's due was originally due in April of 2020 for the 2019 tax year, 2017 and 18 should suffice. If SBA's got questions, they'll ask you for an approximation of what you would be filing for this year. SBA will also need a schedule of liabilities for the business. That's in SBA Form 2202. That's how much money you owe. So it would be a summary of any liabilities you have out there, equipment leases, mortgages, things of that nature, any working capital loans that you may have out there, lines of credit with a bank, that sort of thing. That would all go on SBA 2202. The information that you'll need to fill that out is going to be available from, if you're using Sage or QuickBooks or pretty much any other automated accounting system, that information will be available from that. You'll also need to complete an SBA Form 413, which is the personal financial statement. That details your assets and liabilities as the business owner. Any significant owner of the business needs to complete a 413. So if you've got two partners in the business, everybody has to fill out the 413. SBA may require additional information as part of the underwriting process. One of the reasons for that, SBA people are very good at what they do. They're very good at underwriting, but they're not doctors, they're not attorneys, they're not retailers, they're not manufacturers. They may need a little more information to help their understanding of your business and what the impact on your business has been. So keep in mind that there may be additional information that they will essentially electronically request that you provide. The SBA does accept paper applications, but filing electronically, as we noted, is easier, faster, and way more accurate. SBDC can assist you with the application and planning process. One of the things we suggest you do is download the application, which you can do once you go to the disaster application site. You can download the form, print it, fill it out. This way, when you go back to fill it out online, you've got your information organized and ready to go. So it's a helpful way to do it. So in addition to the application information, you might also need to provide some of the following information. Complete copies of all federal income tax returns for principals, general partners, managing partners, and affiliates. We're going to have another slide with some links, and one of the links there is the definition of affiliates. You're going to need if you have not filed your federal income tax and you filed an extension, you're going to need a year-end P&L and balance sheet for that tax year and a copy of the filed extension. Since that was originally due March 15th, you've either done the extension or you've got your statements. It's going to be one or the other. You'll also have to do a current year-to-date P&L and balance sheet. We don't mention that on the slide, but a balance sheet's necessary as well. There's an additional filing requirement that's particularly important. That's the SBA Form 1386. in which you'll be providing monthly sales figures. That's especially important for these SBA economic injury disaster loans, excuse me, because that's essentially what SBA is looking at to help determine the impact on the working capital of your business. What were your sales? One of the early clients that we were working with was doing thousands of dollars per week last year and is doing essentially hundreds of dollars per week this year. Significant impact on their cash flow and on their working capital. So we're going to actually go back to the link slide. So I would jot some of these things down. These are the links that are going to be important to the process, important to helping you get through that process. The SBDC has been studying and looking at how this has affected small business. We've also changed our use of technology so we can work with you safely, and so we can help flatten the curve and avoid spread. So we will meet with you electronically. We have set up numerous platforms, Zoom, GoToMeeting, a number of other platforms, such that we can meet with you electronically and help provide the information that you're going to need to go through this process. We will survive this process. Small business is very resilient. Small business is essential to our local economies, our state economy, and our national economies. We will get through this. We'll get through it together, and we'll get through it by being committed to our success. Thank you very much.